how, again, did it get worse? It's been less than 24 hours, and Idubbbz has hit a new low. How is this happening?
Idubbbz situation.
And will we see Hassan's tiny ass head and petite feet?
Has gotten much worse. Idubbbz has just responded to the clip of Ethan getting sent human skulls in the mail, and he ends up laughing about it. Apparently, his empathy meter was empty today.
I already saw that. Still crazy, though.
In response to this, Ethan actually exposes Idubbbz's dating history and the fact that Anissa was his first girlfriend. Now, remember last video how we saw Hassan and friends reacting to the shooting of 2 Israeli diplomats,
that makes
saying
sense.
They were genuine in their actions. Well, Ethan is rightfully really mad about that, and he talks about it on their podcast. We also have the daily Hassan meltdown calling Asmongold a cockroach and losing his mind at the time.
I think he said little fucking pathetic cockroach.
Out of mainstream media calling him out. So we're gonna check all of that out. Subscribe. We're trying to reach 1 million subs. Check out the playlist and let's begin.
Same.
So it starts with this clip by Idubbbz.
By the way, guys, go subscribe to more Pegasus. The video's linked in my description. I've reacted like 8 of this fucking guy's videos. I love this guy's content so much. More Pegasus. I hope to God you're cool with me reacting this much to your channel. I fucking love it. But go support more Pegasus too. Great content creator, great dude.
Idubbbz shows off his empathy when talking about Skullgate. I thought the skulls thing was kind of humorous.
One last question. Did you send the skulls? What is your opinion on the skulls, and did you send them?
I didn't send the skulls. I don't know. I thought the skulls thing was kind of humorous to hear that, especially when I heard that they were like from skulls.com or some shit.
If the human skulls aren't real skulls, then it's not really scary. Brother, it's about what that shit represents. If there's content creators who get horrified from death threats, can you imagine how a loving family of 4 feel when they're sent 2 skulls to represent the death of their children? It's a little bit scary.
Bit like that, that made it funny.
Maybe his empathy at 33 wasn't developed fully. Hopefully at 50 he'll understand how much of a fucking monster take that is.
Yeah.
What a fucking
Just
psychopath.
A death threat to a father, a family.
Yeah, was it a death threat?
Yeah, no. Skulls.com with the serial number still attached and the packaging still on it.
To be honest, I didn't know anything about it because I think it was linked to as like a was it a response to my content comp?
Yeah, very humorous. Just a prank, bro. Sending human skulls to someone's house. By the way, Idubbbz tries to make it out like these are toys and not real skulls. Like, oh, it's from a website. But these were actually real human skulls sent to their house. Yes, somebody purchased it, but doesn't mean that they weren't real. I mean, believe it or not, Diet Hassan here actually had a rare moment of honesty and acknowledged that it was a death threat to Ethan and Elo or maybe their kids. And then he got really serious about it. But then immediately decided to push back any semblance of humanity and settle that it was just a harmless joke. By the way, same guy who was making excuses for the murder of 2 people. Just absolute psychos. So anyways, Ethan responds.
These are the internets are calling the good guy, by the way. These are the people that people are defending in Austin, saying you shouldn't talk to Tectone. He's an alt-right grifter. And Hassan's the good guy. I can't believe all the stress Hassan's dealing with. Unfollowed Tectone on Twitter because he's becoming problematic. Yeah, man. I'm so sorry that I'm defending a guy who got sent death threats about his children. Yeah, that's fucked up, huh? We're fucking doomed, guys. The dumbest people have got the largest platforms, man. We're cooked in big 2025.
Last question. Did you send the skulls? What is your opinion on the skulls?
Why would you ask that? Like,
because they think it's a joke.
Yeah.
They think it's funny. They like that it happened. And then also they say that I'm lying. I'm lying. I sent it myself. It never happened. But also it's funny and we love it that it happened. That's basically everything.
I thought the skulls thing was kind of humorous to hear that.
So
that sounds pretty funny to me, bud.
That empathy on lock thing that you were talking about, I don't believe it anymore. I think there's 0. I don't think you're even at 20%.
Well, I don't know what's not funny about receiving human skulls in the mail.
Especially when I heard that they were like from skulls.com or some shit like that.
Skulls Unlimited, which is the only place, by the way, in the entire America that sells skulls.
Is that true? Are real.
I think so. They're like an exclusive retailer because guess what? It's not easy to obtain human skulls and sell them. That's generally a very dicey business.
Wait, so they were real. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm you know what? I'm glad there's only one place.
Yeah.
They are real though. He's talking about it like it's some kind of prop or something.
Jesus.
It's a real human skull. Yeah.
Okay, so basically some insane psychopath decided to purchase skulls from the only website in America that actually sells them and then mail it over to Ethan's house.
Yeah, but it's not scary unless the guy went to go decapitate someone in real life and send those to their fucking house. Yeah, nobody should be worried about this shit at all. Oh,
and
yeah, true, dude.
Friends find that hilarious. They actually don't think it's serious at all. And in Hassan's own words, I think that's a little brain broken. Honestly, I think Idubbbz needs a chug jug. Like, he must have ran out of empathy. He needs to drink something, gotta refill that fucking meter. But I think it's so disgusting that you can't even acknowledge that this was wrong, that this was seriously messed up. I mean, we literally just had 2 murders committed over all this sort of rhetoric.
Get that man a chug jug.
All of this is a joke. Like, you guys are fucking dangerous, man, the way you just dehumanize people. Now, anyways, in response to this, Ethan decided
dehumanize the opposition.
To expose some information about Idubbbz. Ethan confirms
Then they'll call Frogan the biggest victim on the internet. Remember, that's a real quote, by the way.
Dating history: was a virgin, never kissed a girl, met Anissa who took his virginity, and everything else.
In honor of
oh, and by the way, just got this sent from my chat. Could be wrong. You can look into it. Apparently, it's $2,000 to buy those, and I'm pretty sure $4,000 total dollars. An attempt to intimidate someone would be pretty fucking intimidating.
On Idubbbz finding this funny. There's a certain piece of information that I've known about him that I've been holding my tongue because I was talking to him. We were hanging out. We just did a video, and I started asking him about his like his love life. I was curious because I've just never seen him. And I was like, do you get out? How do you meet people, you know? Because he's kind of just like living in like, he was living by himself with like his parents or some shit. And I was like, and he was a successful YouTuber. I was like, what's going on, man? I was trying to help my boy out.
That was like his golden era.
In his golden era, yeah. And he told me that he had never had a girlfriend. He had never been with a girl. He'd almost practically never even talked to a girl romantically. And this was right before he started dating Anissa. He was a virgin. He had never even kissed a girl. And then he met Anissa, who took his virginity and everything else.
Everything makes so much sense now, doesn't it? Everything makes so much sense. He got brain broken by that crack whore of a girlfriend he has. And now he's so beyond any type of rationale because she's just using him to push her agendas online. Man, bro got insta-cucked immediately, mind broken, NTR'd. That is insane.
Also, that's just the context there. A little funny gag. It's a humorous little gag. I like the detail. It's funny.
Okay, this was kind of random by Ethan, but I guess everyone is just being really shitty to him, so he's sort of fighting back with the same sort of energy here.
Oh, by the way, no sympathy, because any man who gets that broken by a woman is already weak to begin with. No sympathy for Ian.
I'm gonna give like a sort of controversial opinion here. It's not really, but I think people are really quite brain dead nowadays, so people might get mad at me, but I don't really think it's a bad thing to just be with one person. I think it should probably be encouraged a little bit more because it's better than being with
I agree. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree.
With like 50 people and just hating your life, right? And I think ideally you just find your one partner and you stick with them and you build a life together. I think that's actually to be celebrated, and that's
that would be ideal. But the other thing is realizing that those two aren't going to work out. That's just homie's first girl. And everybody knows that your first girl usually fucks you up quite a bit. And whoever you lose your virginity to, it's a pretty hard thing to ever move forward and forget about because it's your first time, right? And you can get attracted to some really bad people who you've lost your virginity to. Yeah, I mean, even the time that I lost my virginity, it was not that great of a time. I'm gonna be completely real, but it really fucked up my brain towards that chick. Where I was like, I was. To be honest, I was really into that chick. I was really, really, really into that chick. And even though it was like, it was pretty traumatic, not gonna lie. I still could just never stop thinking about it because it was my first. And I've not really had that much sex in my life. I think until I was maybe 31, I believe I had sex twice. I'd obviously I've been blown hundreds of times, probably thousands of times. But now I'm having a lot.
Pretty wholesome. And, some people want to save themselves or whatever for the one. And I think that's totally fine too. Now, not saying that's what Idubbbz was doing. Just saying in general, I feel like this sort of shaming is really weird. But I do get the point he's making. I think the real point he's trying to make is that Idubbbz was starved for attention. And then when he got Anissa, he would basically do anything to make her happy. And I'm guessing...
Yeah, because Ian's probably in the position to where he thinks he can't get anybody else, and he's become a deranged, mindless, mind-broken simp.
He changed his entire personality for her, and he would bend to her every whim, and essentially became a hollow version of his former self.
Yeah, he literally just got bitched by an OnlyFans girl. I mean, how weak do you have to be to let this shit happen to you over that? Jesus. And to not have any self-reflection at all.
And that you got to watch out for, right? Never let your girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife or whatever change the real you, right?
Oh, yeah,
of course,
absolutely.
You can grow together. You can change together.
Yeah, use them to grow, not be fucking warped and molded and completely changed from.
But don't let them change the core values that you know are right.
Because listen, all things aside, I knew Ian before all this shit. We played WoW together multiple times. I've watched a lot of his content. And I'm just saying, I don't think Ian's a good person right now. I don't at all. However, I'd like to acknowledge he has charisma, he was funny, and he's honestly a pretty good-looking dude, and he's in shape. So to let this woman completely ruin his image and his personality, it's just fucked up.
Right? And doing all of this for an OnlyFans girl, that is diabolical.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That is absolutely tragic. You know, I would maybe possibly understand if this was some sort of unicorn girl, maybe like the best, nicest, most amazing person in the world, and you're just so much in
Can we save him? No, absolutely not. He's gone, man.
love that maybe you change for her, right? But Anissa, really? This trashy, horrible OF girl? You can't be serious, dog.
I like how everybody agrees that this chick is mid as fuck. It's so funny.
Reminder to never date an OnlyFans girl, and we just
Yep.
got dude, this picture of him is so
True.
sad. So Anissa responds by saying,
Everyone
"Why are
will
you
learn
so
eventually. It is a fucking mistake. It never works.
actually invested in us? Do I phone 911, a priest? Who do I call to get him help?" I think it's just a matter of self-respect, to be honest. I think if you're really sort of like secure in yourself and you know your worth and your value, you wouldn't deal with someone like Anissa, right? Who is just tramping all over you, doing whatever the hell she wants, humiliating you on the internet. You'd kind of just leave and not tolerate any of that disrespect, right? Please gather to pray for this man who lost his V card and last name. OnlyFans ego.
He took her last name in Big 2025? Jesus, it's over, dude. It's over.
Anissa asked the question, why does Ethan
Bro's on the leash.
Klein hate hot people? Is this hot? Where do I get this kind of body dysmorphia? Bro, people are insane. Anyways, after this, Ethan explains why he decided to expose Idubbbz. I never planned on sharing that story, but after seeing him call the skulls humorous, I realized that there is nothing they won't say or do, so I'm returning the favor. To be fair, I don't think this is equivalent at all. What Ethan did is very, like, minuscule in this sense. My boy has not been so much as touched with the opposite sex before Anissa. In itself, it's not a big deal, but in the—
One is, LOL, I don't care that this kid's life was in danger, potentially, due to real human skulls and what that implies about their safetyhood and their life. And the other one is, LOL, bro was a virgin.
Context of the relationship, I find it very humorous. Yeah, that's basically what I was saying as well. I feel like the story is starting to make much more sense now as to why Ian is giving everything for this girl. So he's a man in his 30s with a single body. If it wasn't Anissa, this could be commendable. Idubbbz chimes in after Ethan exposed his dating history. He wants that incel audience bad. Oh my god, bro. Can somebody give this guy a dictionary? Do you know the meaning of that word, bro? Oh my lord. It's a tragically simple explanation for this man's downfall. Literally got corrupted by the first woman that gave him the time of day. Did he learn empathy before?
Wait, he got a vasectomy for her too? Is that true? Is there proof of that?
After losing his virginity, my god. Ian wants to cut all the audience back. Anyways, after this, Ethan talks about the shooting and how sort of like scared he is.
It's one thing to read and be like, they were murdered and that's horrible. But then you read like he went up, he shot them in the back. And then the girl was trying to crawl away and he went up and shot her in the head twice. And then the guy stood up and tried to help her and he shot him in the head again. Like he assassinated them both in cold blood.
Yeah. So this is what we all knew from that first episode after October 7, where you and Hassan were talking about what happened, and Hassan would refuse to show any tiny bit of empathy to the Israeli side.
This is what you've been doing. You've been building intentionally. There's no other outcome that makes sense than this. When you dehumanize an entire group of people, when you describe, Hassan described, anyone who's ever had any type of Zionist feelings in their life is not fit to be a dog catcher, who's a Nazi. These people who were murdered, who people are celebrating now online and making excuses for and this and that, there's essentially no difference between them and us. They're just two Israelis that happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I think it's really scary how polarized people actually are, and I think it's really scary how dumb people are, how easily manipulated people are.
Yep.
I've said something similar before, but I think NPCs do actually exist, like legitimate, non-playable characters who have no train of thought by themselves, and they just sort
of... I also absolutely agree this is my perspective on life. I do think there are people who are, and I'm being very unironic about this, I do think there are people who just simply are not real. I do. And I think they're there to be put on this earth in order to test you and what you will do when handling these non-playable characters. Because there are some people who are so beyond logic, so innately fucking terrible. I think they are sometimes, and obviously, guys, I'm a religious guy, I started to make this about religion. I do think they are tests from God to decide what will you do in this situation in order to determine the content of your character. Yeah, sorry for making that about religion. But yeah, that is what I do feel.
Sort of blindly follow some leader.
I feel like these people are fucking
talks
demons.
about Diet Hassan, or Nice Guy Hassan, as Think Before You Speak.
You just can't convince me that a human can actually be this fucking stupid or this fucking evil and have that little self-reflection capabilities.
Would call him.
This is what happened when Noah Samson makes a video saying, protesting is not working. We know where they are. We know where the propagandists are, and we know, and we need to step it up. We know where they are, and we need to step it up. He refers to all Zionists as
He also
Nazis.
Yes.
Well, now people think there's nothing you could do to a Nazi that would be out of pocket, right? Murder all Nazis, right? That's how evil they are. So when they say, oh, they're Nazis, this is giving
it's like,
permission.
okay, so everything is on the table.
Everything's on the table.
Yeah, no one needs to be on the list. This guy is fucking cooked in the head. That is like the closest thing to inciting violence. Bro's like, we got access to the people, the government, the guns. I mean, what does that even mean? That is like one step before telling people to just go out there, you know?
Yeah, he said, and I quote, we have access to these people's full names. We have access to their addresses. And I'll be real, it's very easy to get a gun in the United States. This guy was not banned for that, by the way. This guy was not banned for saying that on stream. What do you think he's attempting to incite his audience to do?
24/7 surveillance on Noah. Make sure he doesn't have any access to guns. Also, does anybody find it so ironic that the people who keep talking about Jews negatively are like the other side are Nazis? Like, what is going on, man?
I don't feel safe because the way that people talk about me and Hila being fucking terrorists, baby killers, propagandists, genociders, right? Everything bad that you could say. They say I'm as far as if you tell from the people who talk about me, I'm as bad as it gets.
I don't know what happened to the left. Like, what happened to inclusion, to understanding different backgrounds and different cultures?
It's the consent, it's the ease, it's the comfortability that people have with violence against us. Dehumanizing language, being platformed mainstream,
and seeing
being platformed by New York Times,
exactly.
by the CEO of Twitch saying this is his favorite creator.
Yeah, seeing it on all levels.
The people are comfortable with the idea, and as people get more comfortable, guess what's going to happen?
It really has gone way too far, man. I'm just hoping nobody else gets shot or murdered because, you know, it's honestly getting a little too deep for me. You know, I'm just here to cover YouTube drama, talk about some lighthearted stuff, and mostly my channel is about making fun of idiots on the internet, right? And these particular...
It sucks because it's such a horrible thing because I am so sure that we're still only at the tip of the iceberg, and I know things are going to get worse. And even me humoring the idea of what I think is going to happen scares me so much that I don't even want to say it out loud on the off chance that it incites anyone to do anything radical. Yet you have these political streamers who will go live and radicalize their audience and say things like, oh, you know, these addresses and these names are publicly available and it's very easy to get a gun. And I'm so worried for whoever may or may not get hurt or worse in the near future. And it's scary as shit, guys. It really is. I'll be real. I don't think I'm doom posting. I think right now the Twitch space is the most unhealthy it's ever been. And I think it is very, very, very scary that it continues to get worse at every waking moment.
Particular idiots just happen to be treading into that territory of getting super dangerous as well. And I'm a bit concerned for people's safety, but, you know, let's just pray that everybody comes to their senses here.
2 pro-peace Jews dead. Read what they were saying.
What were they saying?
What were they saying?
Yeah.
Pro-peace is
This guy doesn't know anything. It's always like, oh no, you need to go figure this out, and just until then, trust everything I'm saying.
crazy.
I highly doubt no one knew anything about the victims there. He just wanted to side with the killers, the terrorists, the evil freaks.
Of course.
I will never understand why it is so hard to just disavow murder. Then Ethan reacts to Mike from PA saying that the murders were a setup.
Women recoil when he enters the room. Literally sand. I'm telling you, sand falls from women's vaginas like an hourglass. Like an hourglass counting down your fertility. You lose fertility when he walks in the room with you. Your viable egg count drops.
For Israel. And they attacked low-level staffers. Perfect timing for Israel, and attacks people that are expendable. They're Christian.
Am I crazy? Am I ADD, or does everybody on this earth just talk slow as fuck? Like, I feel like 1.5, 1.25 should be base increase speed for every YouTube video ever.
The Christian Zionists get killed.
Bro, they're Israeli.
What?
Completely expendable.
Expendable to who?
He's saying it's a psyop that we sent in our most disposable grunts so that we could have this guy kill them.
Bro, Ethan is ruthless with that egg count shit, bro. But honestly, how is the global rank #1 simp, Mike from PA, saying that Israel sent their own people and killed them? Like, just so it would radicalize people. I mean, it's not surprising from the side that routinely defends Hamas. I mean, they do also kind of use civilians as human shields and stuff. So that logic kind of tracks if you're that brain broken. Anyways, moving on to Hassan molding at mainstream media.
All over the place. If you go into a
I like that she didn't even push back, by the way, which is, again, journalistic malpractice. Shouts out to the CNN anchor who was just letting my man go off and defame the...
Yeah, Hassan, I bet everything everybody said about you forever was defamation and super illegal, and I can't believe America, this shitty country, would ever let this happen to you, and I'm sure you're such a victim by all these things that happened, by the product of your own actions. Of course.
Like, what are you doing? There are other journalists on your platform that have literally asked me to go on their shows. There are other journalists on your platform that have done extensive coverage.
Yeah, sue them then, Hassan. Sue them. Go ahead, sue them.
On what I do, including me targeting disinformation and anti-Semitic narratives. It's not just Donny O'Sullivan either. There's plenty of others. It's like crazy that you just like let him spit like this.
Wait a minute, Hassan mad at CNN? Doesn't this guy love the mainstream media? Oh, wait, it's...
Why is this guy acting like he gives a fuck what happens to Jewish people when all he does is go live and talk about how much he hates a Jewish guy? Yeah, I don't know, Hassan. Maybe we need to like get a grip on reality and do some self-reflection.
Only when they suck him off. Right, Hassan actually getting a taste of his own medicine now. Why don't you just get your billionaire dad or your multi-millionaire uncle? Maybe they'll go ahead and pull some strings for you.
Like the bodies haven't even gotten cold yet, and Jonathan Greenblatt goes on CNN to be like, you know who killed these people? Hassan. Hassan played a big role in this. It's like there is unprecedented amount of overt anti-Semitism out there, and this fucking freak is looking to blame someone like myself for it. You are just such an unserious charlatan, dude. Quit.
Hassan, why don't you name one other person that radicalizes more people with the very violent rhetoric that you do to an audience of your size on a daily basis? Name someone of your caliber that has done more damage to the safety and the radicalization of viewers than yourself. I have a feeling that the only name that you can think of is Kanye fucking West. And when that's the only person that you can name who's done worse, I think that's kind of fucking scary.
Okay, resign in disgrace, disband the organization, stop doing this.
Of this gamer, Hassan Piker, who regularly employs awful genocidal rhetoric against Jewish people in the Jewish state. Like, extremists.
Like, that's so psychotic to say. No, I don't, okay? No, the fuck I don't. Against Jewish people, genocidal rhetoric that I regularly apply. Also, gamer? I haven't played a video game in months.
Okay, first off, thank you, Hassan, for distancing yourself from the term gamer. That is one thing we can all agree on. This is the first...
We're safe, guys.
...honest thing Hassan has ever said. He should not be called a gamer. But anyways, the reason he's mad is that they didn't call him like a journalist or something, or maybe an on-the-ground reporter, which is just funny, honestly. Like, they don't take...
Well, because he's not, because nobody should take this guy fucking seriously. He's just a retard with a microphone. And unfortunately, that microphone is really loud.
Take that seriously. Anyways, let's move on to Hassan calling Asmon a cockroach.
Let's all sit together.
And I like how Hassan said he's never called for the genocide of Jewish people, but he didn't counteract the fact that he's called genocide on other people. Like, let the streets bathe in their capitalist blood. Yes, we all remember that.
And say a collective thank you to the government for keeping us safe.
Shut the fuck up, you fucking cockroach. Oh my God. So what a disgusting little creature this is. What a disgusting little creature. Thank you for defending our nation state.
Yes.
To the Trump administration for detaining.
So he says thank you. Listen.
Guys, I think he's mad.
Do it again.
Thank you for defending our nation state.
Finally. That's all we were asking for.
Detaining a Twitch streamer. Asmongold is such a fucking liar on this issue.
What am I lying about?
He knows that I am not a
he won't specify.
Fucking dangerous entity.
But do you think the government knows that?
This isn't a music video, Hassan. You think the Houthis, Allah, is doing what Luffy would do? I believe what the Houthis are doing is a good thing. 10 toes fucking down.
No, they have to check. You didn't get arrested because you weren't. But to say that it does not act as a radicalizing force is crazy when you're talking about supporting or not having a problem with active terrorist organizations.
That's what this is. Gonna get clipped so hard, man. Suck my dick. Shut the fuck up about clipping, please. Oh my God. Yes, I am talking about white supremacy, okay? Yes.
Can we get an F in the chat for the doggo? What a good boy. Anyways, have you guys noticed that whenever you watch Hassan versus Asmongold, I noticed that Hassan is always screaming and losing his mind and hurling insults, calling him names. Asmon is just chilling. He's just effortlessly destroying him in viewership, in the argument, in every metric there is. This is humiliating, man. Just take the L and move on. Now we got some clips of Tectone talking about how he's probably not going to go to TwitchCon because he feels unsafe.
And I'm so... I want to make this very clear. It's not that I feel unsafe. I'll be fine. I'm worried about other people at TwitchCon, right? I'm saying the general sentiment for anybody who should be going to TwitchCon should not be a pretty comfortable one when there's so many people being radicalized right now. I'll be all right. Worried that if this behavior isn't addressed, if this shit isn't punished fully, there's no way I would be going to TwitchCon this year.
Absolutely.
Like, this is scary shit, guys. This is scary shit. I would feel so uncomfortable existing, knowing how many people of that convention are consuming this content. I absolutely would not go. That. And this is me speaking as a normal human being, not for myself. I sometimes use the royal we. I also use the royal I, as in like I as in all of us. As a consumer of this content on Twitch, why would I want to go somewhere or on this platform people are being radicalized into extremist behavior on a day-to-day basis? Why the fuck would I want to do that? I mean, guys, you understand, we're now somehow worse with what's being platformed on this platform than last year when there was kick streamers pushing random people into trains. So explain to me why anybody's gonna feel safe going to this shit. Going to HouthieCon. Why the fuck would anybody want to go to that shit?
OG Pegasus fans in the audience.
You're gonna call it a HouthieCon? That's insane.
Wait a minute, he's watching a legendary YouTuber. That's me, baby. King of the Salop, legendary yapper. Subscribe. But yeah, honestly, my
Yes,
advice,
sir.
do not go to TwitchCon. There will possibly, maybe, probably be a mentally ill Hassan fan waiting there for you. Mike from PA is gonna try and throw a punch. My god. He's probably gonna get beaten up by himself. It's like, you know that one episode from SpongeBob where Patrick just beats himself up to make SpongeBob look good? No, but honestly, it's so simple for Twitch to fix this. Ban Hassan and ban every Hassan clone. And tell the CEO to stop gooning, bro. It is wrecking his brain. Now click this video or you gotta get...
I think it's very easy. We don't even have to do that. Just suspend them for a week and then say, we've updated our TOS. This type of rhetoric isn't allowable. You may come back as long as you understand and you follow the guidelines. It's really that easy. It's really that easy. It should not be this hard.